tried 47 eyeshadow palettes in 2025, and I have ranked them, every single one, from the worst, finishing up with the best. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my channel. You have entered the top 10 eyeshadow palettes of 2025. As somebody who has tested almost 50 of them this year, these are the best of the best quality, the best color stories, in my opinion, and the most used from me as someone who has a lot of competition to put these eyeshadow palettes up against. Now, if you missed it, we are at the top 10. We're starting off on number 10. If you want to see the rest of the rankings, I did just post ranking from 47 all the way to 11, and very rude of me, I stopped abruptly at number 10 here for today's video. So if you're coming over from that video, thank you very much for being patient. Here we are, the top 10 eyeshadow palettes. Oh, the baby just... I don't know what the baby just did, but she's been sticking her foot straight out and it feels weird, like an alien. Anyways, train of thought, you made me lose it. Thank you, baby girl. Anyways, we're at the top 10. Thanks for coming over from part 2. And if you missed it, or part 1, and if you missed it, I will link it down below for you guys. A little unfortunate that I have a HD camera right now. It's one of those moments because I've been wearing this makeup for 10 hours now, and it's one of those things where I'm going to mention it to you and you didn't notice it before, but now that I'm mentioning it, you're going to notice it, but my makeup is crusty. It's been 10 hours. Just got back from my parents' house, and I just ate spaghetti. So I had red sauce all over my face, and so I tried to fix it, and now it looks crusty. My makeup looked better in part 1, but we're many hours into wear now. Anyways. Best palettes of 2025. What I think is important to note for these top 10 rankings, you guys, is I was not a risk taker with my eyeshadow looks at all this year. This is the most boring, basic I've been ever when it comes to eye makeup because I really favored single shadows, individual shadows, eye glitters, eye toppers, that situation. So you'll see the colors that I gravitated towards, the palettes that I gravitated towards, which were neutral base shades, matte base shades. So that will reflect in these rankings, so do keep that in mind, which is why I always suggest, of course, watch the whole rankings so you can see why I placed what. But with it being my own personal rankings, if I'm wearing a bunch of matte brown eyeshadows this year, that's where I'm going to rank them. So, criteria is quality first and foremost. Secondary is going to be how much I used it. I think that's really important. That's the proof is in the pudding kind of thing. How often did I use it? And then, of course, if the color story catered to my needs. Did you notice this too? I'm putting it out. Told you. I had spaghetti today. It's really late. Let's get going on these rankings. Starting off at number 10, the 10th, in my opinion, best palette that I tried this year is from none other than one of my favorite indie eyeshadow brands, Glaminatrix Cosmetics. This is their Nearly Natural eyeshadow palette, and these have natural eyeshadow colors. Now, first of all, Glaminatrix has an amazing formula, so I know when I want pretty sparkly shades, this is the brand that I'm going to go for. So their shimmers are incredible, but they also have really great mattes. And as you can see from this color story, as a neutral lover, this is right up my alley. Actually, the most recent time that I used this palette was for my baby shower. I did my makeup using this for my baby shower. Unveiled right here, this pink shade, having a baby girl, went all over my lid. And then my friend asked me to do her makeup, and I used Nude on her. I used this whole palette on her as well, but this was the lid shade that I used. Absolutely stunning. So this is like for the girl who loves neutral, but also sparkles. I think you will love the gleaming shininess of the shimmers here. And then the mattes are really great base shades. Really great, easy palette for kind of two and done looks as well. But of course, you have some really cool green options here as well. You can get some depth here. Just a lot of great options. Glaminatrix killed it. So that is why this is ranking at number 10, which is technically the worst in this video, but of all the palettes, like number 10 is a great ranking. Okay, number 9, shocked about this one. 11, the last one on the last video, was also a ColourPop palette, but at number 9, I have the ColourPop and Shrek collab, which unfortunately did sell out, but I know why, because what an amazing palette. If you love neutral, earthy tones, this was incredible. I only tried 2 ColourPop palettes this year, and they knocked it out of the park. Seriously, really great quality and gorgeous color stories, and I went with their cool collections, like their collab collections. It was the Grinch, and then this one is Shrek, which normally they're not that great, but look at this color story, you guys. Now, don't get me wrong. This isn't competing with like a Viseart or Natasha Denona quality palette, but it's ColourPop and it's really good for ColourPop. It works exactly as you need it to, but I have loved these tones this fall. I've even reached for this glitter shade a couple of times, which I don't normally love a pressed glitter, but man, it was gorgeous on my eyelid. This is just right up my alley for neutral looks that I've been wearing. We have some grungy tones here as well. I don't want to keep going on for too long about this as it was limited edition and it is sold out, but I cannot believe how good ColourPop did this year, at least with the 2 palettes that I've tried. I mean, 50 palettes, this is ranking in at number 9. I don't know who's more shocked, me or you. But anyways, from the moment I tried this, I've recommended it. I love it. Number 8 is from ABH. All of these, I would say, I tried later on in the year. The second half of the year had so much better palette launches than the first half of the year. The ABH Embers palette, I just love the quality on this. I'm not necessarily unique about this, but what's different about this for ABH is I'm so used to ABH having those very shimmery shades. These are mostly satins. Some are leaning more towards shimmer, but they're not like glittery shimmer or super reflective. They have more of a satin finish. The mattes are very easy to blend, extremely pigmented. I have nothing bad to say about the quality. It's honestly impeccable, like 10 out of 10 quality here. Rich, buttery, pigmented like ABH normally is, and I love that these are more satin. Even though I love a glitter finish, it's kind of been refreshing and different having colors with these finishes. And when I look at this, I'm like, some of the shades look like they could be too close together, but I just don't feel that way. On the eyelid, I do feel like each color serves its own purpose, and as somebody who's been loving the more boring looks, this one is great, especially if I want to be a little bit different, you know, add a little bit of extra smoke. This is, it's so good. Obviously, we're at the top 10 here. I also think this palette and formula would be really, really good on mature eyelids as well. Been loving it. It's just been the most perfect fall palette and great color story. Very, very small and compact. 10 out of 10 quality, so that's where it landed. Coming in at number 7, like I said, the redemption arc has begun for Vanngo. This is the wonderful warm palette. I just cannot believe like the difference, the contrast between the color palettes versus the palettes in this part of the video. So these are more warm, neutral shades. It's not like orange like in the colorful palette, so it's still very wearable if you kind of err on the side of wanting to wear brown. These are really creamy. I think this is a great selection and placement of colors. You have great depths, different finishes, blends really easily. This is a formula that may need building up, but not in a bad way. That's the intentional part of it. If you are somebody who's very heavy-handed, this formula is great because you can start off with just a little bit and it will be more of a sheer lay down of color, but that helps the look more blended because you can very easily build it up just by dipping your brush in a little bit more and create more dimension with just a single shade. So the quality in here, to me, it's just creamier, and the shade options give more variety to the looks that you can get. So I really like this one, and I like that it's not like orangey warm browns, but it has that warm tone, but it's still very different from New Neutral, which you know is coming up soon. So really, really like this one. Coming in at number 6, this one I did not expect to love so much. did not expect to use so much, and it's fairly new. I've already gotten so much use out of it. This is the Patrick Ta Major Dimension Essential Artistry Edit Palette. I have mine in the shade Light. There are 2 other shades, and I didn't want to love this as much as I did because it's a very redundant launch from the brand. They already have a big palette with all of the 3 shades from these 6 pan palettes, but dang if I can't stop using it. So it had to rank high. I literally use this all of the time. I love the quality on this. And at first when I saw this, I thought I would desire some more depth from this palette, but I honestly really don't. I reached for this when I want to use those single shadows and those lid toppers. And I actually like that these are lighter tones because it creates a really natural shadow on my eyes. And I can build up a little bit of depth here, but it's super buttery. There is a lot of kickback with this, so that is something to keep in mind. I do think it's a lot. It will make the eyeshadow run out quicker than a formula that doesn't have quite as much kickback, but I will kind of let it go because this does blend out super easily. And since I use this as a base palette, it is important that these shadows have a great blend. So phenomenal formula, awfully boring color story, but that's what I seemed to like about it in 2025. But okay, coming in here at number 5 is the least boring palette in today's video, and it is the one that I'm wearing. We're a little crazy here because it's been a long day. But the new Danessa Myricks Lightwork Freedom palette for this year. I mean, you had to see it coming. This one is fun. It sparks my creativity while still staying within my color story, my comfort zone, if we just, pretend the blue doesn't exist here. But this did get me to play with the blues. I think the formulas in here are really nice. Very nice, easy to use matte formula. And I love the colors that she chose because they're basic shades. They're just background shades. And then that allows for these shimmery, fun colors to speak for themselves. This has a multitude of different formulas that I can't go in right now and explain every single one. Some I personally like more than others. I don't love her really wet, foiled, flaky formula, which there's a couple in there, but the rest of them are absolutely stunning, creamy, really reflective. It has some multi-chromes in here. I'm wearing one of them today, and I don't normally wear multi-chromes. Just has allowed me to feel creative, have fun with my makeup while also staying somewhat within my comfort zone here. So just, have a good time with makeup, super high quality. And then, of course, the packaging. If you haven't seen it, it's incredible. So for today's look, I kept it really simple. I started off with this shade right here, and I just blended that into my crease. And then I went in with a little bit of black. I was like, we're going smoky today, but I still wanted to keep the look simple. So I wanted to go in with one of the multi-chrome shades, which is this one right here, which has a purple to green shift. So it looks really insane all over my eyes, depending on what way the light is hitting it. So that is all over my eyelid. I also use this shade right here in my inner corner. And as you can see, I have stuck to, for the most part, just this center 6-piece palette. And I think the way she has laid it out makes it very intuitive to use if you're not maybe the most creative with coming up with looks, because obviously each of these are their own section for a look. On the waterline, I did use a black eyeliner, and I started off with my crease shade to blend that out, and then I finished off with just a tiny bit more of that black to give us today's overall smoky look. And I've done this look a couple times before, so it's one I knew I was going to have fun with, but you can mix and match the different settings of the palette, and it's fun. It's a lot of money, but it's really good quality. I love it. I love this palette. It is one of my favorites this year, obviously, clearly. So that is where this one is ranking. Number 4, we have the Vanngo New Neutral. This one for me is very much me, everyday me. So this is a palette that I've reached for a lot. It's definitely one of my most favorite and most used palettes this year. One that I don't have to think about, one that I know I'm going to love my look. It's going to look good on me. It's going to be easy to create, and it's just going to feel like me. This array of shades in particular, so well thought out. Again, another one of those palettes where every shade has a purpose. each shade has like a different texture to it as well. Like you can get more of a shimmery look, you can get more of a flat look. There's a shade that has a little bit more glimmer, and then just the perfect, I mean perfect base neutral shades for if you're around my skin tone. So we have this shade, the cream shade, then this is gorgeous all over the crease. Deepen up a little bit here. You want a little bit more smokiness, you want some liner, go here, and then you have all of these options for an easy, thoughtless lid shade for a flattering look. So for me, this has been about the function. It's a really functional palette that I'm very, very comfortable with. I'm boring, okay? Number 3, this baby from Viseart, which I did see they do have in stock at Revolve. I think it's sold out everywhere else. This is the Lilas Lumiere Etendu Visi Pro, and I didn't know I was gonna love this one as much as I did. I think the color story here is gorgeous. It's very ballet pink to me. At least that's the look that I tend to go for with these pinky shades, but you have some nice taupe shades, some grayish shades. So it's like a neutral palette, but a little bit different, which I think has been fun for me since I've been staying more within my comfort zone this year, within the brown tones and natural tones. But this allows me to feel like I'm doing something a little different today, but it's still very much like, I'm still a very boring girl, don't get it twisted. Extremely high quality. Viseart has the potential to create some of the best formulas on the market. I feel like sometimes they don't always do that, but this is one where they did. This was my favorite eyeshadow launch of 2025, minus my own, of course. They just killed it. No notes. Love the looks that I get with this. Obsessed, actually, which is why I love this so much. Every look I do with this, I love it, and the quality is phenomenal. Best of the best. You can mix and match the shades. It's the awesome Viseart packaging as well. So that's number 3. Number 2, simply because it was my most used palette of 2025, I would say. My number 1. Almost every single day I was using this. It was my sidekick. It was on my desk. And this one, is this one my less used one? I think it's my less used one because I now have 2. Because that's how much I use it. This is the tiny, adorable little Natasha Denona mini eye sculpt. Yes, I did see the cool eye sculpt palette, by the way. I did see that. It's just the tiniest little thing, so it takes up no room on my desk, which is why I have left it here. And it has the most basic shades that I'm always in need of. If I need to brighten up my eye a little bit, just go for the cream. If I need to just deepen up my crease a little bit because I want to use the new single shadow that came out, I have these options here. If I need a quick little liner, brown or black, I have this option here. Even if I'm using a whole different palette and I need a little bit more depth, I have these options here. Or I need a little bit more light, I have this option here. It is just the background palette to every single one of my looks. Basically, it feels like I'm always in need of one of these shades, and with it taking up no space on my desk, this has been my right-hand man, my go-to. Natasha Denona's formula, and never in a million years when this launched did I think this would literally rank as my number 2 favorite palette for the year, because I knew it was so unnecessary, so redundant to my own collection. But with this packaging, I've ended up grabbing for it more than any other palette this year because it just was the supplement of color that I needed all of a sudden for all of my looks. So, staple, an absolute staple. Okay, number 1. Oh, I love this palette so much. It's a me palette. It is the exact looks that I feel the most comfortable in. It is the best formula on the market. That's a big statement, but it is one of the best formulas on the market. It is one of their best quality palettes that they ever created. Oh, and it also sold out. This is the Viseart Praline Etendu Visi Pro palette. I cannot believe we got here where this is my number 1 palette of the year. When it launched, it had that special quality where I was like, something's up. These are going to be top runners at the end of the year. And guess what? This is the top runner. Now, this also launched with the Lilas Pro. And you can see in my initial review video of those two, I was like, these are contenders for best of the year. And that was even before the halfway point of this year. Or it was like right around that. Anyways, just a bunch of brown chocolatey tones. yummy. There is a dud. I actually do have something negative to say about this palette. There is one dud, but the rest are extremely creamy, as I would expect Viseart to be. Very pigmented, minimal fallout. This is a pro-choice formula for a reason. So I knew I could trust the formula, but I really feel like they outdid themselves with it for some reason. It just is creamier than the rest. And then if you have a very similar taste to me of my preferred eyeshadow colors that I like to wear on the daily, you will like this a lot. And I did complain, I don't know on which platform, about how this sold out and they never restocked it. It sold out a second time, by the way. This was a relaunch. And they did say they are working on getting this back. So I will let you guys know when it comes back, but this is the best. It's so boring. It's like almost anticlimactic, is it not? But for me this year, that was the vibe. Boring. But I actually wanted to give a special shout out because even though this is ranking #1, there actually is a true #1, but I feel like it would just be so predictable and so biased of me to put it at #1. So it's an outlier here. I'm just going to mention it because all throughout the year, I've used this a lot. I've traveled with it, but so biased. But this was the year 2025. And I feel like this is a great way to close out this video. I launched my collab with Odin's Eye. It was a Valentine's Day collection, so this was back in February. My love language palette, and I got, you know, a big part in the packaging, and then I really was able to just go at it here with the color story to the formulas. I was very, very picky about layout, names, everything. And it is so not my vibe for this year in terms of saying how boring and neutral it was. But I was tasked with creating a Valentine's Day palette, so I wasn't about to do brown. You guys, come on now. I wanted to stay on theme for the brand and for what they were asking, but I like Morganified it, you know? I got my little neutral corner in here of my basic shades that I need. And you know, to me, purple is a neutral. And I think that I put together a really gorgeous Valentine's Day palette. And even though I've been using these basic browns the most and all year, when I need to feel something, when I want to feel a little different, I've loved creating looks with this palette. And I haven't talked about it as much lately because, thank you, it completely sold out and it's not coming back, seriously. At least to my knowledge. This was it. The stock is sold out. So I just wanted to thank you guys for the support in the launch of my palette this year. It really is unbelievable that it did end up selling out, which is insane. So of course, to me, this is the most special palette of the year. And not only did I have so much fun creating this, but I truly, truly love what I created and the colors that I put together and the looks that I've been able to get from this. So thank you if you did pick it up. Obviously, this was my favorite palette. It was the most special. But I thought I was doing too much putting it at actual #1. But I did want to close out this video by thanking you guys for the support of that and closing that chapter there. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. I highly recommend all of these eyeshadow palettes if you have similar tastes to me. I know eyeshadow palettes aren't the hottest makeup item right now, but some good palettes really did launch this year. And I had more fun ranking these than I thought I would. I wasn't too sure because I wasn't as inspired by the eyeshadow palettes this year, but laying them out, we did get some good ones. So let me know if you've tried any of these down below. I have listed them in the description box for you as well. And I want you to think, what was your most used eyeshadow palette this year? Was it something small and basic like this, like for me? Or, you know, are you still going at it with the colors? I want to hear. I know a lot of you guys love your colored eyeshadows, and I'm sorry that I've only done brown looks, but hey, that's just what I've been into. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe to my channel for more recommendations, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys, have a good one.
It's delicious.